Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we were working on a 2006 Chevy HHR with a 2.4 LT. We're going to show you how to find a brake booster vacuum hose leak. Alright, as we said in the previous videos in the past, we've had an issue with the code P0171 that keeps popping up. Well, on Sunday, I did some research on my car, took everything apart to be able to find the solution. At first, I went to go order me a new intake manifold because of the miles that's on it. Usually around 230 to 240,000 miles on these cars. Normally the intakes end up cracking. And this is the same thing for like the Saturn Views as well. Well, I end up finding out that my original intake manifold on the top of it was actually cracked. Can't really see it, but you can see how the intake manifold right up back here, you can't see it's got a heat shield, but it's brand new, and you can tell by looking at the back where the flange with the flex pipe is connected. It's all brand new. There was a crack on the top of it, all we've did directly from the center all the way down. So I ended up replacing it. But I got that from O'Reilly's for $132 for a kit. It comes with some circle piece, which was not required, and it came with a metal gasket. The metal gasket was correct, and it did fit perfectly fine. The metal gasket seemed to be alright, but it had some burnt marks on the side of it, probably from the heat from over time. And the old intake had, like on cylinders 1, 4, had some really orange marks on it. It looked like some red and orange marks on it, like it got hot over time. And so I replaced it, let it run. It smoked for a little bit because of the chemical that was on it. After 7 to 10 minutes letting it idle, it went away, and some white smoke came out of the rear. Then it never did it again, and it's running perfectly fine, including with the new flange with the new flex pipe gasket. It was kind of all bent up to hell. Whoever put it on there, they're just kind of like aluminum foil type gasket, but it's still like metal, I would assume, and it's really bendable. So the old one looked like it was pretty burnt out as well, so I went ahead and replaced it. I checked the other oxygen sensor because it looked like it was about to be not working anymore, because it looks like it was fried, so I had to order one. I went on Amazon and checked. They had the Walker brand, the same exact brand that O'Reilly sells, which is the Walker brand. Mine has the triangle type port on it. It was $119 at the store. So I typed in that same exact Walker brand with that model number on Amazon. They have it for $34. So I ordered it. I'm going to replace it because I just replaced the intake, and the oxygen sensor has a big, huge white mark all the way around it. So I'm assuming it's probably getting ready to go bad. So I went ahead and just got that anyway. It should be in tomorrow. And I went to crank it up and everything. It ran fine, but then the code popped right back up. So I went ahead and reset the computer. So now it comes on less than 10 minutes of driving. So like the leak is getting worse. And I also replaced the intake manifold seals on the front because they were dry rotted with the miles, and I'm glad I did. I changed the throttle body gasket seal. And I checked my evap, because even though it was put on a year ago, I took it off to see if it was bad. I tried to blow air through it. If no air blows through your evap system through one hole out the other, if none blows out, that means the valve inside's working. Now, to tell if the evap's bad, if you try to blow air through it on both sides and air comes out, and the air goes through one side, comes out the other, that means this thing is bad and it needs to be replaced. But mine has no air going through both holes, so it's good. So I know that wasn't the solution. So I checked all my hoses here. I checked the throttle body seal. Everything was good. I checked, make sure this thing wasn't cracked again. It was good. I checked this hose. It was connected fine and tight, as you can tell. This hose wouldn't cause that problem because it's just a hose that you can run without. It's just a duck hose. And I checked the oxygen sensor on the back, make sure it was tight. It was, because I knew it, but I was just double checking my stuff to be sure what was causing the code. And come to find out, I heard a whistling sound coming from right up in here. Couldn't figure out where it was coming from. So what I did is, I actually found the solution. It is the actual brake booster check valve. I don't know if you can tell, but it has a crack right there on the side. I don't know if that's normal, but to me it looks like a crack. I've never heard one of these brake booster hoses on any GM vehicle or any vehicle period whistle. But the thing is that when I actually run the car and I put pressure on it like this, the whistling gets quieter. But if I move it up and down, it would go. But so I sprayed some carb cleaner. I sprayed some brake cleaner on it to see if it was. When I did, the whistling got louder. So I'm assuming that this thing is bad, or maybe this thing here is not sealing properly because it comes with this new piece, and maybe that's making it where it's hissing. But if I clamp onto the actual vacuum hose, which runs directly to the bottom of your lower intake, and it runs all the way over here to another extension that runs another hose that goes straight up to there. I squeezed on this hose really hard, clamped it down, the noise goes away. I let go of it, it comes back. I even let the vehicle idle. When it was whistling, I pushed the brake down, the whistling stops, then it comes back a little bit, push it down harder, it goes away. I let go of it, the whistling comes back. It never did it when I bought it, but I did check my brake pedal. It seems to let go firmly and slowly moves its way back up, and it doesn't go all the way to the floor or anything, so it's stiff like it should be, like it always has been, so I know the brake pedal's good. I mean the brake booster. And this thing has not lost any fluid. It has not been changed since I had this car. I need to change it because of the miles. I don't know how long it's actually been in here. So I think it's just a $5 part that's going bad. I'll find out tomorrow. It's an AC Delco for $5.99. Amazon sells one. They're like $20. They sell another one for like $7. But I'd rather get the AC Delco because at least I know it was sealed properly and everything will be good to go. But they have to be ordered because they don't keep them in stock. They tell you not to do this, but if you let the car run, pull the hose off, the engine will start surging. A lot. Really bad. But don't do that. Leave it hooked in. That's the way that I tested mine. Mine's not a brake booster issue, and I don't want y'all to think that I replaced my intake because of this P0 problem. I kind of did, but at the same time, I didn't because it was already cracked anyway, and I knew it was. And I'm glad I replaced it ahead of time because you don't wait to the last minute, because I've seen cars where the manifolds crack really easy, and you don't want that either. I hope this vehicle helps on the 2006 Chevy HHR about how to replace a brake booster vacuum hose and where to actually locate it. So if you're having this code, you can buy the $5 part first to see if that solves your problem. But I've also seen some people said that their oxygen sensor was the problem and not the brake booster. I've seen people say the brake booster helped and not the oxygen sensor. And I was told, some people said none of it worked and it was the fuel pump. Then others said it was the fuel pressure. But I don't think it's my fuel pump because it cranks up instantly. It comes on, it turns off fine. It's not stalling or puttering or acting like it's starving for fuel. It's just acting like it has too much air. Now, can the brake booster vacuum hoses cause engine rough idling and acceleration? Yes, it can. If it's not getting enough air, it can't, which means a vacuum leak. It can cause the vehicle to have rough idle. It can cause the vehicle to shift hard when you put it in reverse or drive, but mine only does it when it goes in drive or you put it all the way down to the third gear or the second gear, and you put it in any other gear, it won't jerk. But once in a while it will fix itself when the leak is not as bad, and it'll start shifting normal. And this does it during hot conditions or cold conditions. It doesn't matter. But like I said, it doesn't cause my car to stall. It doesn't cause it to hesitate cranking. It doesn't cause it to delay shutting the engine down. and you don't smell anything. So I would check that valve first to be sure it's bad, and I'll let y'all know probably on Thursday if this leak has been solved and fixed. And if it has, I will make a third video on this. Hope this video helps, and y'all have a great one.